Am I an idiot for asking my grieving husband if he has feelings for his best friend? I, 27 female, and my husband, 29 male, is kind, funny and handsome. Let's call him A. So he's always been quite popular. We usually hang out with the same 10 to 15 people he's close with. But 6 years ago, he met a guy his age, B, at a work conference with various companies. Said guy was extremely smart, cute, a bit more reserved but still just as lovable. They immediately hit it off and after a year, even started calling themselves soulmates. Soon enough it was a given in our group that my husband and his newfound best friend wouldn't usually do an activity without each other. B would often stop by our place as well, and our kids, male 6 and female 4, and I enjoyed his visits because he was such a sweetheart. Unfortunately, just 3 years ago B died in a serious accident because of a drunk driver. Our family was obviously crushed by the news. I gave my husband the space he needed and offered him all the help and support I could give, but I started to worry after the first year. Then, I got frustrated after the second year. Now, it's the third year and I'm going crazy because it just doesn't seem normal to me. He's always been a doting father but he hasn't played with our kids more than once during those 3 years. I often see him spacing out and looking, holding things that belong to B. He wakes up in the middle of the night and leaves the bedroom to cry. I feel like he doesn't see me or more importantly, our kids, anymore, like everything stopped mattering. And while he keeps working the same hours, I've been told by one of his closest friends, who works at the company, that the quality of his work constantly deteriorates. I assumed that maybe the issue runs deeper than I'd thought and asked him if he'd be ready to go to therapy, but nada. Soon after we had dinner while the kids were at his sister's, she lives next door, and he gave me attention, which I appreciated. But while we were kissing he broke down and shut himself in our bedroom, while constantly apologizing. The day after I sat him down and asked him seriously if it's possible that he's had romantic feelings for B. He went off on me, said I was out of line, that I'm ridiculous for being jealous of his best friend who's forever gone, that I should know he's straight and that he's disappointed in me. I feel like I deserve to express my concerns after such a long time, but a lot of our friends, who know how sensible the situation is and how devastated my husband is, think I should have never said something that intrusive and speculative. They've called me an idiot for doing this to him. So am I the idiot for saying such a thing to my husband considering all that's happened? Update. So, as you all suggested, I sat my husband down and asked if he was okay, if he had the time and mental space to talk to me, etc. I apologized for what I implied, said it was inappropriate, irrelevant, and it wasn't my place to say anything on his relationship with B, but then he broke down, to my confusion, and started apologizing to me. Said he the idea of feelings for B, that I'm not delusional and stupid, that he's just been gaslighting me. I disagree. Not going to give all the details, but hubby found out after B's death that B had feelings for him, and it turned out to be mutual, to his shock. He said the sudden loss and what he realized basically made him go into a very dark place where he felt unworthy of everyone, including his children, B, and I. He needed to talk about it but was terrified of losing us. Knowing my husband, I kind of saw it coming and regret that he's only confessed to it now because I never would have resented him for loving someone. And B is gone. It's just a lot of heartbreak for everyone. So, I insisted on therapy again and my husband agreed. And he's okay, thankfully. He did have way too much on his plate but he's already faring much better now that he's finally opened up. I wouldn't blame anyone for being trapped in a cycle of self-hate after all of this. He also mentioned his parents' deaths too, very briefly. This all felt liberating because we finally came back to our previous home, where we'd share and discuss everything freely. One surprise though, is that I ended up being diagnosed. I am depressed. TBH. I'm still puzzled because I come from a traditional Asian family where depression is a myth. But I guess I'd never questioned myself because I was just always too busy to. Parents abandoned me when I was 5, became a barrister at 21, worked 80 hours a week, taking care of my kids, charity work. You know what's the funniest part? I'm extremely lazy. Every second I fight the urge to lie down somewhere and sleep forever. I have these random moments where I question the relevance of it all, but they all seem insignificant in light of everything I could lose. I'm okay. I never felt like reaching a breaking point. My husband has been feeling guilty, so I slapped some sense into him and told him I'm not cancerous. We also had a talk with the kids. My oldest has been radiant since then. Youngest also likes to follow my husband around like a baby chick now. I've become an in-house counsel, so twice as less work hours, which is really cool too, haha. Yeah, a lot of changes but none of them feel overwhelming. Life might be a witch-esque now, but I feel grateful. Yes, I sound like a cheesy moron, not an idiot, but just a quick remark, kinda unrelated to your story. But I see you called yourself lazy after talking about working 80 hours a week. Girl, everyone would have to fight the urge to lie down and do nothing if they worked that much. On top of that, the fact that you choose to work and not lie down, even if you feel you have no choice, lots of shitty parents show you do, makes you a not lazy person. On top of that, why are you so hard on yourself? You don't deserve that. You've been through a lot and apparently even fully functioning and raising your kids basically alone for the past 3 years, successfully, while being depressed. Which is a very tough thing to be going through. Very. Would you tell any of your friends or children or even neighbors or people you don't like to be lazy because they want to lie down? No, at least to the first two. Then you shouldn't say it to yourself either. Here's to self-love and partner love and all the good things. You are doing great. You deserve to feel good. What do you think of this, Mom? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I an idiot for wanting my boyfriend to come straight home after work to help me take care of our 4-month-old son? I, female 32, had an argument with my boyfriend's, male 32, brother, male 24, yesterday because he asked me why I was mad at my boyfriend when he came home. My boyfriend is an IT guy in a section of our government. He likes to go to the sauna almost every day, he says, to distress from work, from about 5 p.m. to 8 to 9 p.m. If it's not the sauna, he goes to have a drink with friends. Because of the Rona curfew, he has to get home by 9 p.m. Now I have no problem with him wanting to relieve stress or having time with his friends. Everyone needs this. All I have asked of him is to compromise and come home early on some days so I can take a break for an hour or two, take a bath in peace, or eat without my kids screaming to be carried. I'm a first-time mom at 32, a stay-at-home mom, and my son has refused to bottle feed so I can't supplement with formula. Basically, this means I have to be around him 24/7. My Bill knows all this as he's been staying with us for about 5 months now. So yesterday, while arguing, he implies that my mental health is not important because my only reward should be my child's well-being, and that my boyfriend's mental health is more important and that I should give him a break, and I'm not being fair. He also said that me being stressed is stressing them both out and making things uncomfortable, and the last thing my boyfriend needs is to come home and see my frustrations when he needs to relax. Now I know I'm not asking for too much, and I see red flags whenever someone makes me feel like I am. Is there another perspective to this that I'm not seeing? Update. I left my BFs to go rest at my mom's. During that week, my BF never reached out to me, even to check if we arrived safely or to ask about our son, and that was the answer I needed. End of the week, I texted him to ask if I could pick my things from his place. I told him things weren't working out as he clearly didn't care about me and we weren't a priority to him. He said he didn't see what he had done wrong, which is why he had kept quiet and didn't reach out. He said by me moving out, I was taking his son away from him, yet he spent 3/4 of his free time out of the house in sauna 3 minutes 4 hours on a weekday after work and 8 HRS on the weekend, every day. He said he didn't see the point of coming home to babysit a 4-month-old who needed his mother more. All I wanted was for him to come home after work on some days and take care of the baby while I shower in peace or eat food. He said it's clear I wasn't ready to have a child because he knows women who work 9-5 jobs and still come home to cook and take care of the kids, implying that I'm failing because I need a break for an hour. He said we could reverse roles and he wouldn't complain at all. When I told him he should be bonding with the baby, he said he'll take over when he's a toddler and easier to handle, and that kids can be bribed with money and trips and they'll be your best friend. I did not make the decision to end this just because of this issue. It was a combination of all red flags. But to be honest, this was the last straw. I was running on fumes, exhausted physically and mentally, and I was asking him to help me, but he decided, without talking to me about it, that I didn't need a break. I believe he wants to live his life as a single man but enjoy the benefits of a relationship, sex, companionship, good housekeeping and food when he comes home. That's not how a relationship works. For a while he made me feel like what I was asking for was too much, and that I was crazy for asking for a little consideration. Like I wasn't worth fighting for. I felt it was wrong, and talking to you guys here on Reddit strengthened my resolve. We are now officially exes, and to be honest, I don't feel like it's a loss. I only feel stupid that I chose this person and I'm tied to him for the rest of my life, and now my child is the one that suffers from my choice and not having a good father around him every day. Thank you everyone for your encouraging comments and messages. You made me feel much better about everything and like I wasn't alone. Y'all are awesome. Not an idiot. I love it when the other partner thinks staying home with an infant is easy. They have zero clue. You are better off without him. Not an idiot. As a man, reading this really frustrates me. Babies are not just a woman's responsibility just because they can feed them naturally. You'll be absolutely shattered, and like you said, just an hour to yourself to clean yourself up makes all the difference. Is it fine for him to have the stimulation of work and seeing multiple people whilst you're just left at home on your own? But don't worry though, you only have to wait 2 years and then he will start pulling his weight and looking after your toddler. Great. Do you think this mother is in the wrong? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I an idiot for stealing my girlfriend's sweatshirt? My GF and I went to my parents' house last week for a visit. My brother, his wife and their son were also visiting. My sister-in-law and I have never gotten along. She kept my brother from coming to my 18th birthday party because I told her she couldn't bring her baby with her. It was a place full of drunk people and loud music. Not ideal for a baby. She also has issues with my sexuality, bisexual guy here, and my relationship with my GF. Though she doesn't like it when I point out how stupid her logic is. Anyway, things were going good until I got a bit chilly. I'd forgotten to bring a jacket, hoodie with me as it had been warm when we'd left. Thankfully, my GF is almost always too warm and only wears hoodies cause she looks great in them. Her words not mine, though she does look great in them. She offered me the hoodie, I put it on, and then all hell broke loose. My sister-in-law started lecturing me about how a real man would never wear his girlfriend's clothes, and since I'm normal, straight, now, then I should try and act more like a man. I don't see her issue with it. My GF is taller than I am, so her already baggy hoodies look slightly baggier on me because of how short I am. My GF says she thinks it's cute and I think her hoodies are comfortable. Plus it's not like it's all the time. Anyway, my sister-in-law had her rant about how it's gross and makes me less of a man and how it makes her uncomfortable. She made a few comments about how my nephew could be influenced by my behavior. Anyway, things were tense for a while after that and we left a bit earlier than we'd originally planned to. So fast forward to yesterday. Again we were all at my parents' house and I'd decided, with my GF's approval, to wear her bright pink school hoodie. I didn't go to the same school as my GF and sister-in-law know that. She recognized the hoodie and went quiet, shooting us dirty looks whenever she could and making snarky comments every now and then. I later got a text from my brother that I made my sister-in-law really uncomfortable and that I'm an idiot for wearing something I knew would upset her. I know it was petty, but I'm a petty witch and I kinda feel like she started it. Anyway, most of my family are on my side, but there are a few who think I'm an idiot for being petty and that I should have just let it go. So Reddit, am I an idiot? To those of you who mentioned wearing a skirt or something to the next gathering, my GF actually loved this idea and picked out a pair of her boots, smaller heels so I don't break my neck, and a gorgeous pink sweater for me to wear. I'm not confident enough for skirts yet. She also suggested makeup. Long story short, if we do go through with it, I may update. Here's the update. So this actually happened a week or two after my original post, but we've had a few unrelated family issues going on and I haven't been able to post. Like a few of you suggested, I did wear my GF's clothes at the next gathering. Nothing major, just some cute high-heeled boots, her pink sweater and a pair of her jeans. She also painted my nails a beautiful shade of pink and helped style my hair. Let's just say, by the end of it I wasn't looking like a stereotypical manly man. Not that there's anything wrong with people that do like more masculine clothes. My GF had also decided to wear jeans and a button-up shirt, just to annoy my sister-in-law. Anyways, we went to my parents and immediately got glares and rude comments from sister-in-law. The comments started about how if I want to be the woman in a relationship so bad then I should just go back to being a FG etc. There were a bunch of comments before this, but she got annoyed when we ignored them in favor of having an intelligent conversation with other family members. That was the comment that really got to my parents though. It was partly the comment and partly the fact that my brother didn't do anything other than laugh. I've told them to stay out of it as my brother has a history of stopping their contact with my nephew over stupid things and they have enough to worry about. I'd been bullied a bit in the past for my sexuality and my brother never stood by me. To him it was my own fault. If I didn't want to be bullied then I should have stayed in the closet. My parents freaked out and all the anger and resentment towards my sister-in-law that they had built up for the past few years came pouring out. They told her how they really felt about her and how they are disgusted that my brother could allow someone to treat his own brother like crap. They told them to leave and sister-in-law is no longer welcome in their home until she apologizes. My brother tried the threat of preventing them from seeing their grandson, but they were done with him and threatened to get a lawyer involved. They now have scheduled visits, though now it's video calls as the rules are more tight again. I feel bad that they're no longer talking to my brother, but they've assured me that they'll be okay. Honestly, this turned into my parents being badasses rather than myself or my GF doing much, other than looking absolutely fabulous. Either way, I'm glad that we won't have to see her for a long while. We blocked her everywhere after this incident due to the angry messages, voicemails we were getting. I know this probably isn't the update a lot of people were hoping for, but it's brought my family some peace of mind and I'm happy with that. Edit. Okay, holy crap, this blew up. Seriously, thank you for all the amazing comments and awards. I've been trying to read all the comments. Sorry that I can't reply to them all. I've seen a lot of people asking about my nephew's visits with my parents. It was not done through a court. It is literally just a plan that my parents and brother came up with so that they can have regular contact with my nephew without speaking to his parents. As for the lawyer question, honestly, I do not know everything about how it works. I'm going off what my parents have told me. We live in Scotland and technically grandparents don't have automatic legal rights to their grandkids. They can, however, get a lawyer involved and the courts can decide if contact with grandparents is best for the child. Due to the fact that my nephew is a bit older now, there is a good chance they could take his opinion into account. I hope this sort of cleared this up for you guys. Not an idiot. Okay, I'm going to be very blunt here, so I hope you don't get offended. I must come from a different place in time and generation, because I cannot believe anyone still uses the F slur in 2020. This is sickening and I'm sorry that your sister-in-law is such a vile animal. Not an idiot. Like, how would your sister-in-law know that her son could turn out to be gay? Like, is she going to shun him and make fun of him like she did with you? I feel so sorry for the kid because he is in a toxic environment.